Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in this session, I wanted to address and speak to all of you people, folks that are doing hiring out there, and let you know that at least what's going on in the marketplace today, because we want to avoid as many disasters as we possibly can. And the biggest disaster that we're running into is that a lot of people that have been doing hiring over the years have always had an environment where there were plenty of candidates, they were easy to find, and they could take forever to hire someone and still be all right. Well, it's not been that way for the past at least 6 or 7 months, and it's likely to get worse. Now, there are lots of reasons for this, but it basically comes down to the fact that there are fewer people in the marketplace. 3 million people retired over the last year and a half, and a lot of us boomers are out of the marketplace. And there are fewer people behind us in both generations. There are fewer students going to college than there have ever been. The colleges are scared to death about their revenues and about their tuitions. But needless to say, there are fewer people. So you're going to have, when you go to interview and hire, you're going to have fewer people to choose from. And the requirements that you used to be able to get or request, the nice to haves, like I'd really like to have a degree from A&M with a 3.2 grade point or better, then you're going to have a rougher time than you used to. So you're going to have to open up the ballpark about what you will consider. And I know that if you've been hiring lately, you're not going to be surprised the fact that you're going to have to probably pay more than what you paid in the past, which of course is going to create havoc with your budgets. Because if you've got 5 or 6 people in a department and you've been paying X amount to all of those people, you're now going to have to pay X plus Y amount to the new people that you bring in. That's going to upset the apple cart with all the other people that are in the department, because inevitably they're going to know exactly what you paid the new person that came into the market or came into your company. So fewer people, you're going to have to pay more. And the requirements that you looked for before, you're going to have to broaden. The biggest issue and the biggest challenge that we're running into is that many companies still have this process that they feel like they have to go through. What brought this to mind was I talked to a company yesterday and I presented an excellent candidate. And the employer actually said, now, you know, our process is pretty long. It takes 2 to 3 weeks. And we go through about 6 or 7 interviews because we want to be sure that we're not going to make a mistake. I said, well, I understand what you're talking about, but I absolutely guarantee you if you take 2 to 3 weeks or longer to try to hire this candidate, he's going to be gone. Because not only is he interviewing with you, he's interviewing with 3 of your competitors, and then he's interviewing with 3 or 4 people that aren't your competitors that are in a different kinds of businesses. And he's going to go very quickly. He has a tremendous track record. He has good skills, and he's really good. If you go through 2 to 3 weeks of your, he said, well, we just can't do that. We just have this process. I said, well, it might be a good idea to consider changing your process, because you do 2 or 3 weeks, the guy's going to be gone. Fair warning, he thought it was just recruiter speak. I said, please, for your own sake, condense that thing down. Well, we just have to have 5 or 6 people involved in it because it's really an important hire. I said, look, I understand all of the reasons. I respect that. I've been doing business with the guy for 15 years. But I absolutely guarantee you, if you take that long to try to hire somebody, you're going to lose them to the companies that have lost so many people in the process of interviewing that they've condensed their interviewing. We had a candidate the other day that went to 3 interviews, initial interviews in one day, and got 3 offers that same evening. That's the way this market is. I can't do anything about it. I have to live with it. So that process you've got of 6 or 7 interviews, you're going to have to condense it down to 3 or 4, and you're going to have to try to do it within a 2 to 3 day period of time. You can do it. Now, you may not like to do it. Time kills deals. It's just, that's all there is to it. It's always been that way. Well, we just have this process that we have to go through, and we pretty much have to stick with it. He said, well, you can do that, and you can stick with your process, and you can try to do all of that, but you just need to do it faster, and you need to make a decision more quickly. Interestingly enough, this was the only candidate he's seen probably in 2 months. And so he's got a choice. He can either drag it on and potentially lose the candidate, or condense the process. I can't do anything about the marketplace. It was as though he was almost blaming me that he was going to have to go through this problem. And I just react to it. All I do is, I'm a messenger. Don't shoot me. I can just report what's going on in the marketplace. So if you're a hiring authority, condense your interviewing process and realize that the candidate you want, 3 or 4 other people want too. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.